Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Naranam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Dhire Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. So continuing with the discussion on Srila Prabhupada Lilamritas by Satsvarup Das Goswami, Volume 1, A Lifetime in Preparation, India 1896 to 1965, Chapter 9, The Resident of Vrindavan. So Prabhupada has moved to Vrindavan. Now his Guru Maharaj appeared in his dream asking him to take sannyas. So first he asked in Calcutta his godbrother. He had other ideas. So then he asked Keshav Maharaj in Mathura. So Keshav Maharaj agreed, yes, you should take sannyas if this is Guru Maharaj's instructions. So today it's his sannyas ceremony. On the morning of September 17, 1959, in the 50 by 25 foot deity room on the second floor of the Keshavji Mutt, a group of devotees sat before the deities of Radha Krishna and Lord Chaitanya. The deities were colorfully dressed in royal clothing and silver crowns. Radharani's right hand faced palm forward in benediction for the worshipper. At her side, her left hand held a flower for Krishna. Krishna stood like a dancer, placing his right leg in a casual tiptoe pose before his left, playing his long silver flute, which held gracefully to his red lips. His long black hair reached down past his shoulders, and the garland of marigolds around his neck reached down to his knees. On his right stood the deity of Lord Chaitanya, his right arm raised, left arm at his side, his body straight, feet together. He was a soft golden color, and he had large eyes, a well-formed red mouth, and straight black hair down to his shoulders. One level below the deities were pictures of the spiritual masters in disciplic succession: Jagannath Das Babaji, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Gaurkishore Das Babaji, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, Bhakti Pragyan, Keshav Maharaj. Abhay sat on a mat of kusha grass beside 90-year-old Sanatan, also to receive sannyas that day. Sitting opposite the two candidates, Narayan Maharaj, Keshav Maharaj's disciple, prepared to conduct the ceremony of mantras and offerings of grains and ghee into the fire. Akinchan Krishnadas Babaji, Abhay's godbrother, known for sweet singing, played mridanga and sang Vaishnav bhajans. Sitting on a raised asan, His Holiness Keshav Maharaj presided. Since there had been no notices or invitations, only the mutt's few residents attended. Narayan Maharaj chanted the required mantras and then sat back silently while Keshav Maharaj lectured. Then, to everyone's surprise, Keshav Maharaj asked Abhay to speak. Abhay had not expected this. As he looked around at the gathering of devotees, he understood that the common language was Hindi. Only Keshav Maharaj and few others spoke English, yet he knew he must speak in English. After Abhay's speech, each initiate received his sannyas danda, the traditional head-high staff made of 4 bamboo rods bound together and completely enwrapped in saffron cloth. They were given their sannyas garments, 1 piece of saffron cloth for a dhoti, 1 for a top piece, and 2 strips for underwear. They also received tulsi neck beads and the sannyas mantra. Keshav Maharaj said that Abhay would now be known as Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj and that Sanatan would be Muni Maharaj. After the ceremony, the 2 new sannyasis posed for a photo, standing on either side of the sannyas guru, who sat in a chair. Keshav Maharaj did not impose any strictures on Abhay. He simply encouraged him to go on preaching. Yet Abhay knew that to become A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami did not mean merely that he was giving up family, home comforts, and business. That he had done 5 years ago, changing from white cloth to saffron cloth, from Abhay Babu to Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj had a special significance. It was a mandate he had required, the irrevocable commitment. Now it was only a matter of time before Bhaktivedanta Swami would travel to the West as Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati had ordained. This was Bhaktivedanta Swami's realization of his new sannyas status. The Gaudiya Patrika's account of the sannyas initiation included a biographical sketch of Sri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, listing the major events of his life. The article concluded, seeing his enthusiasm and ability to write articles in Hindi, English, and Bengali, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj gave him the instruction to take Tridandi sannyas. For nearly 1 year, he had been ready to accept sannyas. In the month of Bhadra, on the day on which Vishwarup accepted sannyas, Bhaktivedanta Swami at the Shri Keshavji Gaudiya Math accepted sannyas from the founder of the Vedanta Samiti, Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Maharaj. Seeing him accept his ashram of renunciation, seeing this pastime for accepting the renounced order of life, we have attained great affection and enthusiasm. So thus ends the 9th chapter. So 10th chapter, this momentous hour of need. Our capacity of presenting the matter in adequate language, especially foreign language, will certainly fail, and there may be so many literary discrepancies in spite of our honest attempt to present it in the proper way. But we are sure that with our faults in this connection, the seriousness of the subject matter will be taken into consideration, and the leaders of the society will still accept this on account of its being an honest attempt for glorifying the Almighty Great, so much now badly needed, from Srimad Bhagavatam. So Bhaktivedanta Swami, accompanied by some of the Keshavji's Math devotees, made a short preaching tour of Agra, Kanpur, Jhansi, and Delhi. But he was soon back in his own place at Vanchi Gopalji temple. No one called him Ave Babu anymore. Even amongst friends, it was Swamiji or Maharaj. And people often addressed him as Swami Bhaktivedanta Ji, Swami Maharaj, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. People readily recognized him as a sadhu and offered respect. Yet his basic problems remained. He wanted to write and print, but he had no money. He wanted to broadcast the message of Godhead, but few were willing to listen. Such things hadn't been changed by his becoming a Swami. When a librarian advised Bhaktivedanta Swami to write books, they were permanent, whereas newspapers were read once and thrown away. He took it that his spiritual master was speaking through this person. Then an Indian army officer who liked back to Godhead suggested the same thing. Bhaktivedanta Swami took it as a revelation from his spiritual master. As a dependent servant, constantly meditating on the desires of his transcendental master and seeking his guidance, Bhaktivedanta Swami felt his spiritual master's reciprocal blessings and personal presence. More and more, he was feeling confidential contact with Srila Bhakti Siddhanta, and now he was feeling an inspiration to write books. So no more Back to Godhead magazine. Now he was shifting to books. He considered Srimad Bhagavatam because it was the most important and authoritative Vaishnava scripture. Although Bhagavad Gita was the essence of all Vedic knowledge, presented in a brief ABC fashion, Srimad Bhagavatam was elaborate, and Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati and Bhaktivinoda Thakur had both written Bengali commentaries on the Bhagavatam. In fact, most of the great Vaishnava acharyas of the past had commented on Srimad Bhagavatam. Lord Chaitanya himself had recommended Srimad Bhagavatam as a spotless Vedic literature. An English translation and commentary for this book could one day change the hearts of the entire world. For if he could publish even a few books, his preaching would be an honest. He would go abroad with confidence and not appear empty-handed. One day, Gaurchand Goswami, proprietor of the Radha Damodar temple, approached Bhaktivedanta Swami, inviting him to come live at the Radha Damodar temple. Being the eternal home of Jiv Goswami and Rup Goswami, it would be more suitable for his writing and translating. Bhaktivedanta Swami was interested. He had never stopped his regular visits there, and he always felt inspired in the presence of the Samadhi tombs of the great leaders of Lord Chaitanya's movement, Jiv Goswami and Rup Goswami. So there are many other Samadhis there now, but Jiv and Rupa Goswami, those are the prominent ones. But when we went to look at the two available rooms, we found them in poor repair. They had not been maintained or lived in for many years. Not wanting to miss the opportunity, however, Bhaktivedanta Swami agreed to take the rooms at 5 rupees per month. He estimated that for a little more than 500 rupees, he could have electricity installed and extensive repairs made. And when it was finished, he could move in. Bhaktivedanta Swami saw the invitation as auspicious, and living there would complement his new project of presenting Srimad Bhagavatam in English. Of all Vrindavan's temples, Radha Damodar had the largest collection of original writings by the 6 Goswamis and their followers, more than 2,000 separate manuscripts, many of them 300 and some even 400 years old. Bhaktivedanta Swami looked forward to residing there someday and serving in the company of Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Jiva Goswami. For now, he would remain at the Vanchi Gopalji temple, and with whatever money he could collect, he would gradually repair the rooms. It was an important maxim of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati that a preacher should go to the cities and not remain in the seclusion of a holy place. So in that spirit, Bhaktivedanta Swami continued commuting to Delhi, even though to him it was a hell, and even though he had no fixed residence there. Often he was taken in by businessmen who felt obliged on the basis of Indian culture. A good man, if he wanted to be favored by God, should accommodate the sadhus and give them meals and a place to stay. But the vision of such pious men was a sentimental Hinduism, and their receptions were artificial. They could not really appreciate Bhaktivedanta Swami's work. And Bhaktivedanta Swami was not of a mind to impose himself upon such hosts. Then he spoke as Mr. Hitcharan Sharma, manager of the Radha Press. In the past, Mr. Sharma had printed flyers and stationery for the League of Devotees, and Bhaktivedanta Swami had stayed in Mr. Sharma's house on occasion. Mr. Sharma introduced Bhaktivedanta Swami to Pandit Shri Krishna Sharma, a caste Brahmin and active religionist, secretary to the century-old Delhi Religious Society, Shri Naval Prem Sabha. Out of sympathy for Bhaktivedanta Swami's literary labors, Krishna Pandit gave him a room in his Radha Krishna temple in the Chippiwada neighborhood of Old Delhi. Now Bhaktivedanta Swami would have a permanent office in Delhi. So a few years back, we got this Chippiwada temple, or Radha Krishna temple in Chippiwada in Old Delhi, and made a nice, beautiful place for devotees to visit. And where Prabhupada stayed for many years over there in Chippiwada. The train from Mathura would arrive at Old Delhi station near Chandni Chowk, the broad avenue down which poured a river of workday traffic. Rickshaws, bicycle riders, sometimes a dozen abreast, autos in lesser numbers, men running on foot, pulling heavy carts, and beasts of burden donkeys, oxen, an occasional camel or elephant, carrying heavy loads and being driven by men with the whips in their hands. From the intensely busy Chandni Chowk, Bhaktivedanta Swami would take the short walk to Chippiwada, pass a red fort, keeping the Gauri Shankar temple on his left. Then proceeding along his side street, past the large, imposing Jama Mosque. Near Chippiwada, the streets would become narrow. Chippiwada had been a Muslim neighborhood until the India-Pakistan partition of 1947, when thousands of Punjabi Hindus had settled there. Chippiwada was part of a mixed Hindu-Muslim neighborhood, so crowded with people that cars were not allowed to enter the streets. Only ox carts and rickshaws could penetrate the narrow, crowded lanes, and in some areas, the lanes were planted with iron posts to keep rickshaws out. Even a bicycle rider would create havoc amongst the densely packed crowds of shoppers and workers who moved along the streets and lanes. Side streets led to other side streets, lanes so narrow that the second floor balconies on opposite side of the streets were only inches apart, practically forming a roof over the street, so that a pedestrian could glimpse only the narrowest patch of sky. Private yards, shops, and alleys became almost indistinguishable from the public thoroughfares. Although most shops bore signs in Hindi with subheadings in English, some bore the curvy scripts of Arabic, and women dressed in black with veiled faces were a common sight. In the heart of this intense city life was the narrow entrance of Krishna Pandit's Radha Krishna temple, with the plaque of the demigod Ganesha and a row of nesting pigeons just above its simple arched door. The temple, with its resident families, retained some of the tenement atmosphere of the neighborhood. Although the temple room was dark, the Radha Krishna deities on the altar were well illuminated. Radharani was the color of cream and Krishna was black marble and stood about 2 feet. He was decorated with dots of fresh sandalwood pulp and a mask of yellow sandalwood on his forehead. Both deities were dressed in silk garments. On the second floor, just above the deity room, was a guest room, Bhaktivedanta Swami's room. Its cement walls and floor were completely bare. Protruding up from the floor was a 3 foot high concrete pyramid with a spire indicating that the deities were directly beneath. So the idea is nobody should step over the deities, so they should know where the deities are. So even on the roof, people should be careful. Bhaktivedanta Swami soon found that his room was not secluded, but was side by side with other residential rooms. Outside the door, a metal grafting smaller than the Vanchi Gopalji temple and Keshavji Mutt revealed the small temple courtyard below. From the roof, hardly a single tree could be seen. The view was of tenement rooftops so tightly crowded together that it seemed one could walk from roof to roof all the way to the colossal Jama Masjid. The mosque's 3 large domes, surrounded by taller minarets, rose high above the ordinary buildings, attracting flocks of pigeons, which perched upon the domes or flew in wheeling patterns in the sky. Krishna Pandit, dressed in a black, lightweight cotton coat, the kind made internationally recognizable by Pandit Nehru, and he had the Nehru hat also. He spoke good English and was garrulous, means he would just like to talk. He was well known and respected within the neighborhood. He saw Bhaktivedanta Swami as God sent a sadhu for him to take care of, and thus prove once again the piety of Hindu culture. He found his new guest likable, a simple, gentle, gracious, and accomplished Vaishnava scholar. Krishna Pandit said he understood the importance of Bhaktivedanta Swami's Sanatana Dharma mission and his need for a daily office, and he vowed to supply his guest with whatever he required. Although Bhaktivedanta Swami was reluctant to ask for anything for himself, Krishna Pandit brought in a sitting mat and a low table, placing them before the pyramid, and he also brought a mattress. He showed Bhaktivedanta Swami how to operate the room's single light, a bulb, and metal shade that hung from a cord and could be raised or lowered by hand. He brought a picture of Radha and Krishna that had been given to his guru by the Maharaj at Jaipur and set it within the niche in the wall, relishing that Bhaktivedanta Swami could gaze upon it with the eyes of a pure devotee. Bhaktivedanta Swami had wanted a secure place for writing books before going to the West, and Lord Krishna had provided it. Now he could work either in Vrindavan or in Delhi. Almost immediately, he began back to Godhead again, serializing book excerpts from his previous manuscripts, while at the same time beginning Srimad Bhagavatam. When Krishna Pandit learned of his guest's lone struggles to produce back to Godhead, he volunteered to help with some of the business aspects of the publication. Bhaktivedanta Swami was indeed gratified by Krishna Pandit's sincere help. And in appreciation, he gave him an addition to his name, Hari Bhaktanudas, one who serves the Lord's devotees. After 6 months in Chippiwada, Bhaktivedanta Swami wrote an appreciation in the temple's guest book. See how Krishna is making all the arrangements for Prabhupada. I am pleased to write herein that I have come to Delhi from my headquarters of Vrindavan purely on spiritual mission to propagate the cult of devotional service of the Lord. And I'm more pleased to mention herewith that Shriman Shri Krishna Sharma Hari Bhaktanudas has provided me a suitable room for my literary activities. I'm publishing an English fortnightly magazine of the name Back to Godhead from this place, and the Naval Prem Sabha, of which Shri Krishnaji is a honorary secretary, is arranging for my daily lectures on Srimad Bhagavatam, on Srimad Bhagavat. Late Pandit Jyoti Prasad Sharma, father of Sri Krishnaji, was also known to me, and during his lifetime, whenever I used to come to Delhi, late Pandit Jyoti Prasadji would provide me with residential place. His good son is also following in the footprints of his noble father, and as secretary of the Naval Prem Sabha, he is doing good service in propagating Ram Nam all over the city. In neat English script, Bhaktivedanta Swami went on to write that in his opinion, oh, I just got kicked out. Okay. In neat English script, Bhaktivedanta Swami went on to write that in his opinion, temples should be used solely for educating the people in spiritual values, and that it was his personal mission to organize temples for that service. Temples are not meant for ordinary householders engaged simply in the matters of animal propensities. Those who actually engage in the service of the Lord Deity, the predominator of the temple, can only be allowed to remain in the temple, otherwise not. Trying to compose Srimad Bhagavatam at Chippiwada while surrounding by sometimes noisy families with their non-devotional domestic habits had impressed upon him the importance of not using the temple as an apartment house. So I guess we can stop here and see anybody has any questions or comments.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
So, Prabhuji, today is the Navratra Shubharam also. So, wish you all a happy Navratra.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Wish you all the same. So you're gonna fast all 9 days? So how does it work?
Today and on Ashtami, Prabhuji, 2 days. Today I'm fasting, and on 8th Ashtami also.
Okay.
Prabhuji, just one query. Krishna's sister, I think Yog Maya. Can you talk a little bit about her also? Was there any pastime or anything relevant to them?
Tomorrow?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Okay, we'll
Sure.
discuss on that. Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you,
You all
Prabhuji.
have a safe and wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila.
Hare Krishna. Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna. Jai
Thank you
Shri
very much, Prabhuji. Jai Shri.